House Republicans today released their report on former President Joe Biden's use of the autopen. GOP lawmakers have urged the Justice Department to investigate President Biden's use of the device, calling it part of a, quote, cover-up of his cognitive decline. Now, that raises the questions, what is an autopen? How does it work? And was it only used by the Biden administration? CBS News reporter Elaine Quijano has the answers.
So the autopen, also known as a robot pen, is a machine that replicates a person's signature using a real pen or writing tool. The devices use pens or other writing instruments to place a person's signature on documents, books, or other papers, such as in the case of a college president, for example, who would otherwise be required to sign hundreds or thousands of diplomas for graduating students by hand. According to the Chappelle Manuscript Foundation, the device has been around for centuries. One of the first known users, Thomas Jefferson, who bought one soon after it was patented in 1803. Since then, presidents from John F. Kennedy to Barack Obama have used autopens to sign everything from routine letters to legislation and even pardons. During the Gerald Ford administration, the president and First Lady Betty Ford occasionally signed documents and other correspondence by hand, but White House staff more often used autopen machines to reproduce their signatures on letters and photographs. President Trump raised the issue in March. He said former President Biden's alleged use of an autopen rendered some pardons void and vacant, specifically the preemptive pardons to members of the House Select Committee that investigated the January 6, 2021 assault on the U.S. Capitol. President Trump has also used an autopen, telling reporters in March that he'd used the device, quote, only for very unimportant papers. Now, modern autopens like the Ghostwriter model use smart cards or flash drives to store signatures and phrases. They can sign thousands of documents, from diplomas to certificates, without, of course, ever getting writer's cramp. The technology is not cheap, though. High-end machines used by governments can cost up to $20,000. President George W. Bush asked the Justice Department in 2005 if it was constitutional to use an autopen to sign a bill, with the department concluding that the president need not personally perform the physical act of affixing his signature to a bill he approves and decides to sign in order for the bill to become law. Biden has strenuously denied he was unaware of his administration's actions, calling such claims ridiculous and false. Democrats on the House Oversight Committee denounced the probe as a distraction and waste of time. In a statement, a Biden spokesperson said it was an investigation into baseless claims that proved there was no conspiracy, no cover-up, and no wrongdoing. For CBS News Explains, I'm Elaine Quijano.